So we're going to do the skate park, and then the plan with the Parks and Rec director, who's really awesome. He's like a real-life Ron Swanson.
Yeah.
He has a BB gun in his desk. And if you come in there and give him too high of a bid, or start talking about spending too much money, he'll pull the BB gun on you while you're talking. I kid you not. This guy is real deal. Terry Martin, he's a legend.
Does he like scotch too?
I'm sure he loves scotch, yeah.
Today's episode is brought to you by the FMA Annual Meeting. The industry's largest networking event heads to Las Vegas February 28th
through March 2nd.
It's your opportunity to connect with executives and leaders in metal fabrication, steel production and distribution, service centers, and so much more. Hear from experts on trending industry topics and the insights you need to drive decisions. And remember, what happens in Vegas takes your business further. Register today for the 2023 FMA Annual Meeting at fmamfg.org.
What was that again?
That's fmamfg.org.
All right. Hello. Welcome back to part 2 of our interview with Adam Heffner. This was done at FABTECH. We think you're going to enjoy the conversation. This one kind of involves a conversation about him doing some local work, supporting the local skateboard culture in his community outside Nashville, Tennessee. Where, what was it again, Garrett?
Springfield.
Yeah.
Springfield,
And what did he fabricate for him?
So it was I think he said it was a big wave that he wants to build out right in the entrance, but he wants to make it skateboardable. So it's not just
so that you can ride it into.
Yeah, you can ride up and down.
You ride the wave.
And then into the skate park.
Yeah.
So I mean,
but it was part of like his discussion about like him trying to impact local initiatives and him trying to get into like, he was talking about how he wanted to get into bigger art installations because of the low overhead on it and the, you know.
I mean, it's important to give the skater kids something to do. You know, anything to prevent them from being in ska bands and.
What's wrong with being in
ska band? Oh, there's one.
Basically being a threat to our public. And I actually want to bring this up. There's this video that was floating around.
Is this the McLaren one?
The skateboard kid takes a skateboard to this McLaren that apparently beeped too much at him. I think Jim's seeing this for the first time.
Yes.
Needless to say, we need to be better citizens.
Oh, wow. And the guy chases him.
Look at the big hole he put in the windshield.
Oh, it's
the
embedded
board is
in there.
embedded, yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize the board was still in there.
Stayed.
Oh, no.
That's the side
wheels.
view mirror.
So the point being, it's like, the skaters, man, they just want to hang out. There's no need to.
I like the awkward door closing.
Yeah.
That's.
So, look, they just want to hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slide down a few stair rails, bust a head.
If they want, they can get like an old McLaren in the skate park parking lot. They can just bash the hell out of it.
You don't think they could ride the wave over the McLaren into the park?
So I don't know if anybody out there is like pro McLaren versus pro skateboard. I'd be interesting to hear some of the feedback on that.
I'm pro skateboard.
I think I am.
I've never skated. I had like a skater haircut when I was in middle school. It was like the bowl cut.
What does that
those
look
part
like?
Down the middle.
There you go.
You probably had that too, right?
Like a reverse mohawk?
No, it was just like the skater cut with like part down the middle, hair down.
Oh, right.
So I made the joke about the ska band because
Yeah.
there's this other video floating around with Tony Hawk like being a lead singer of a ska band, and like in some of the comments there are all these kids that played like, what was Tony Hawk's video game back in the day?
Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Hawk.
Yeah, they're like, wow, I know this music. It's come full circle.
That was
Old Man Hawk.
like a revolutionary like video game soundtrack. I think people wanted to own it on CD while they
groundbreaking.
Well, I didn't mean to break bad on ska. It's just kind of like this will be like the second time it's come up during one of our conversations.
Yeah.
My favorite part of the Dabs Wellington interview where he was mentioning he was in a ska band. I go, ska band outside St. Louis? How'd that happen? He goes, band friends.
Yeah. You need the band geeks.
You got a bunch of guys playing horns. You don't really have a choice, I think.
Right. But the thing
Is swing music big with the kids nowadays?
I don't think that's made. I don't think like the Cherry Poppin' Daddies have made a big comeback yet.
Squirrel got us
Squirrel nut
You
zipper.
literally
Yes.
just got us in trouble with Google again, so we can't promote this.
The Cherry Poppin' Daddies.
You did it again.
There you go. See how easy that is?
That would be a funny thing if YouTube has that on their list
yeah.
of no-nos.
If you were an
talking
artificial
about-
intelligence, wouldn't you want that banned from your existence?
Yeah.
You should have gone with
think so.
squirrel nut zippers. It's a much safer choice.
God.
Exactly.
Oh. Yeah, but he was anyway. Adam was talking about big art installations.
Right.
And we're recording this right around MLK Day. Did you see the new structure?
Sculpture?
I
sculpture.
did. I
Yes.
It's got
if you
mixed
look at
reviews.
it from a video screen or a computer screen, it's kind of difficult to take it all in.
Right.
Yeah.
I think from the right
overlay.
angle, it kind of looks like it means it. What am I trying to say? It looks like it's easily recognizable in terms of what it's trying to accomplish, but from other angles, it's kind of like mysterious.
Yeah. I mean, it's got some unfortunate angles. I think.
Serious.
But
Unlike Chicago's Cloud Gate,
yeah,
big jelly bean, which
The bean.
looks good at all angles, but
Right.
then again, it's
just-
a jelly bean.
right.
It's solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but this is just it's the embrace. It's an embrace, right? I think it's
Look, man, if we could
it's just
bring
arms hugging. It's
if
Martin
we
Right,
could bring
right.
Jr.
McLaren
and his
drivers
wife.
and skateboarders together, I think
And
this is a
ska
better
bands.
place.
The thing
And
is-
ska
And
bands.
ska music.
You could
yeah.
probably skate underneath this sculpture. It's 20 feet tall, bronze. I think it's going to be there for a while.
Yeah, I'm not thinking they want the skateboarders hanging out.
Yeah, I don't think they. Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. It's right in Boston Common area.
I like big structures.
And it cannot lie. Oh boy.
Watch that one. Sorry. My
That'll
apologies
get-
to Cool Mo D.
That'll get flagged.
Yeah.
Yes. No, it won't. AI loves Cool Mo D.
Cool Mo D.
Kumo D.
Yeah,
That's
it's
not
no
him.
fact.
Well, did you see
It's
that?
not. Yeah, it is.
Baby got.
Completely unrelated. Did you see De La Soul's 3 Feet High and Rising album finally got approved for streaming? Because it was like
They
one of the
held
most.
out.
Yeah, because of all the
samples.
copyright.
Oh, the
sampling.
rights. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a groundbreaking album.
Yeah.
I
back
didn't
in
think
the
it was
day.
related to that. I thought they were holding out on their own. Huh.
Well, maybe, but I mean,
No.
I just know for a fact that they got sued up the butt for all the samples
You know what?
that they
So that's a
used.
work of art that was well worth
It
all
is
the
a work
pain.
of art.
Well,
Yeah.
and the last thing we want to do is hold off and hold others up from watching this next episode.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
point.
It is good. It is a good time to stop talking.
Yes. All right. Enjoy this episode
Let's
with Adam
embrace
Heffner.
this next
Yeah.
episode like the sculpture that we've seen.
Yeah. Here's
In
part
Boston.
2 with Adam Heffner.
The Fabricator Podcast is presented by Nuts, Bolts, and Thingamajigs. As the foundation of the Fabricators and Manufacturers Association, NBT is helping the next generation discover their future across the country in manufacturing through hands-on camps and scholarship programs. You can invest in tomorrow's workforce by visiting nutsandboltsfoundation.org. One more time, nuts and bolts
Foundation.
.org. So what made you want to do your own thing?
I grew up in a family business.
Yeah.
My grandfather was an entrepreneur. My great-grandfather was an entrepreneur. My family's just full of different businesses.
Right.
And I've seen what that can do for a family. I was
Yeah.
spoiled rotten. Well, maybe spoiled golden, but,
Yeah.
however it works out. But I had an amazing upbringing, and it was because of the success of our family business. I got
Yeah.
to travel the world. We had trademarks in other countries, so I got to learn about business with Asian nations
Right.
and how that works and how you do that and manage that.
Yeah.
I got exposure to these large companies like Safeway, Costco, and got in these rooms that I had no place being in, but I was the owner's son,
Yeah.
and I was following daddy around. Literally,
Yeah.
for access and knowledge.
Right.
And, I took advantage definitely during my teenage years. I was not a good employee. Actually, every kid in my family, except my sister Megan, has been fired by my dad.
What did he fire you for?
Oh, well, let's just say.
Have you been fired more than once?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm just
I
kidding.
decided my purpose in life for a while was to party. So I'd clock in. I was on night shift doing cleanup crew, so very little supervision. I would clock in, wait for all the office people to leave, maybe spray something down for a couple hours, and then I'd disappear, stay on the clock. So I was stealing time from my dad. Gotcha. Yep. So he came back with a
He
drug
kicked
test.
you right in the ass.
And yeah, that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
That was the end of a lot of things. I mean, I got kicked out of the house there, lost my job. My parents are like, real deal.
Yeah.
You're going to be on the program or you're out.
That was a wake-up call pretty early on then.
That was. I think a lot of people call that rock bottom.
Yeah.
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 So I chased around for a little bit longer thinking I could do it on my own and, realized how good I had it and that I needed to mend my ways. And it's actually when I met my wife is when I was cleaning up and turning my life around. And,
Nice.
You got to be pretty proud of doing
Yeah,
it yourself,
yeah.
though. I mean, building your business and.
well, it wasn't by choice.
Yeah.
I would have stayed around
right.
and be third generation of that meat company. And, I had a brand new diesel truck. I had a fuel card. I didn't have a fuel card. I had a card.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a card.
Whatever,
Yeah.
So, and I was traveling for work a lot. I couldn't get the insurance for rental cars because you have to be 23.
Right.
So I'm like 19, 20, 21 going on these business calls for my dad. And I'd get a cab. This is before Uber. I'd get a cab from the airport to a U-Haul because I could rent a U-Haul truck. So I'd show up to all my meetings in a U-Haul pickup truck. Or if they didn't have a pickup truck one time in College Station, Texas, I had to just rent a dry box. I mean, I was driving around in a dry box, showed up to this meeting.
I think that was in Tommy Boy, too.
but I was sitting there, I was like, man, I have to travel. I have to fly. It's too
Gotta
far to
get there.
drive. I
Yeah.
can't get a car. So I went into problem solving mode and
Right, yeah.
figured out, okay, I can rent a U-Haul.
There you go.
I saw a Twitter feed about that recently, about how people just don't go and rent cars. They just go right to like Menards or something and rent one of their their $20 trucks for like 5 hours.
Yes, same thing. So I've always been kind of creative, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Well, it does help in the fields you're in.
Yeah, I mean,
Right?
and field construction, you're MacGyver out there.
Right.
My superintendent, Steven, he's a real life MacGyver. I mean, he'll take the spring out of a ballpoint pen to like fix a door closer or something. He'll like fart on a napkin and turn it into wall patch. Like this guy's amazing.
Now, that's a YouTube video I want to see.
So, yeah, I mean, it's coming. It's coming. It's a proprietary secret, though.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
It depends on what you had for lunch and breakfast.
Well, definitely,
Anyway.
you do have to pregame for that sort of
There you
a
go.
solution.
It's an all-day
Can't go
affair.
in cold.
Yeah.
It's way too much time to be spending on that. So when you launched Maker Table, how did you go about? What was the deal? Did you have some inroads to maybe potential jobs, or was it cold calling?
Zero.
Creativity? I was about to say.
Really?
So really, I started the website also out of necessity. I
Right.
thought I was gonna start chasing some light structural work
Right.
and field welding or doing repairs on trucks, but I called for insurance,
Oh.
and the insurance companies wouldn't give me insurance. As a small company, that's one of the big leaps. That there's all kinds of guys in these big trades that can do these big jobs, but when you come out by yourself, nobody wants to insure you for the first 3 years. So my first year, I got insurance under a sign maker class code. I couldn't even call myself a welding shop.
Oh, okay.
So I was a sign manufacturer and
wow.
installer,
Yeah.
and I couldn't weld anything critical. So I'm used to like rock crawler suspensions, buildings, bridges, dams.
Right.
Everything's
Yeah,
critical,
everything.
and I know I can do it, and I have the certifications to prove it. I have the poodle papers to
Right.
back it up, and they just said flat out no.
Wow.
So first year was nothing critical. So I may have fixed a couple dump trucks and a couple of dump trailers, and I may have made a hydraulic actuating table for a precast company, but none of those were critical, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
So I had to take some risk because the website wasn't going. As soon as I really did my first paid job, I stopped collecting unemployment because I just felt weird about it.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was building the website 4 to 5 days a week, cutting signs out, making new designs, filling orders. Everything that I cut, I would take a picture of and turn it into a listing, and doing that for 3 to 4 days a week. And then I would always have to take 2 to 3 days a week to do fab projects locally, just to make some money.
Right.
Because the website wasn't cutting it for the
Right,
first,
right.
year and a half or so. So that was the mix: is 4 or 5 days a week work on the website, because I really believe in that, and I have faith that that's the future. That's the way to go.
Yeah.
And I basically did that mix back and forth for 3 years. Second year, I got height exposure. I could do installs up to 10 feet. Into my third year, I could do installs up to the second floor. Now we have unlimited height exposure. We can install whatever we need to, as long as we're following, OSHA's protocols and whatnot. So that's when I was able to chase the first commercial job.
Okay.
So I had no inroads. It's all cold calls, going in with a business card, hat in hand. Hey, I'm this guy. I make cool signs, but I can do all the structural stuff too, I swear.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that was the pitch. And then I actually got Steven, and Steven worked for this company that got bought out by another company, and he got me a first interview with that company.
Oh, okay.
And that was our big break. We got onto the 5th and Broadway project, which is owned by, it was a joint venture between Rothschild and Dow.
Okay.
So humongous, multi-use property right across from the Bridgestone Amphitheater.
Right.
Huge. We had business being there, but we had no business being there. We were
Right,
the
right.
smallest contractor sub
Yeah.
on the site. And we got the corner guards for that building. So these big, like 40-foot tall, 4x4 angles that needed to go on the side of the building.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward work. And we handled that. And while we were there, we picked up some of the tenants that were building restaurants inside of there.
Okay.
So through there, we've kind of got in with the Sam Fox Group, which started the Cheesecake Factories.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
Wow.
I don't know if he sold those or or he's just bored with them.
Yeah.
Something going on there, because he is making like 50 new restaurant concepts
Okay.
across the country.
Wow.
And I think he's waiting for one to pop. So this one building we did is actually 4 different restaurants in the same building. They're building out the basement as the secret speakeasy now called Pushin' Daisies, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's gonna have like no signage. You're just gonna have to know about it. It's in the
Wow.
basement of this building. It's a cool property. And then we're working on another chain with them called Doughbird, also in Nashville right now, but they're looking at rolling that out across the nation.
Wow.
And they've got other concepts we're not working on. So they're just kind of in my mind, a kingmaker in the
Yeah.
architectural metal world.
Yeah.
But we have to learn how to chase his jobs around the country.
Will you travel?
We do travel. We tried 2 travel jobs. We're finishing one in Columbus, Ohio right now.
Yeah.
We did one this summer in Atlanta, and we're not that great at it.
Yeah.
I can't say I made any money at all
Right,
yet,
right,
really,
right.
on them.
Yeah.
The back and forth was tough.
Yeah.
I need to learn how to better manage an out-of-state job. So we're
Yeah.
reeling that back in, but we can't fabricate for these jobs and have somebody else install it.
Oh, that's right.
And a lot of the stuff is pretty straightforward, where a millwork contractor could install it.
Yeah.
And we started making a lot of stuff out of aluminum. So a lot of our base trim now is cut out of aluminum, so a millwork shop can cut it in the field, touch up the ends with a paint pen or something that we send them, and they can do it with the rest of their millwork package. And then the rest of the stuff we have just, flanges with countersunk holes and shoes that cover. So we're trying to design all of the stuff so a millwork shop could install it.
Okay.
So that we don't have to be metal workers out there,
Right.
out of state, away from home.
Yeah,
we can
yeah.
just ship it to them.
Right.
So the big puzzle there right now is we're looking into LiDAR scanning. So,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like if we can send out a LiDAR scanner to this job and measure up the as-built conditions
Yeah.
for some of the features that you do have to get a site measurement to be able
Yeah.
to prefabricate it, and see how that kind of flow works. So we just
Right.
did that on this job last week, but we're gonna have to teach ourselves a new CAD software in order
Yeah.
to play nice with this point cloud.
Oh, yeah.
So we have some learning curve to deal
Right.
with, but I see the path.
You see some people doing that already on these sites? They're going out with that type of technology?
Yeah, I mean, Skyline Fabricators out in
Okay.
Texas. I know he's using it. And then
All right.
my buddy Alex Beluski, Lex Welding, he actually rented us his scanner.
Wow.
He used to do very similar business to us in Nashville. I don't know his whole story. You guys should get him on. He's a good one to talk to, because he's really going this other avenue that's going to open up this digital fabrication for a lot of shops. So what he's doing is he has a 3D scanner.
Right.
He'll go out, scan a job, and then bring the scan back to his computer. I think he's in California now, and he will create your shop drawings to scale to match site conditions as built.
Wow.
So, and then he'll sell that to a shop. So shops hire him to go be their on-demand CAD drafting,
wow.
site inspection, takeoff
No
guy.
kidding.
He's a one-stop shop.
Is he a fabricator by trade?
Yeah, by trade he's a fabricator. So the shop drawings he makes are, beautiful. They are
Right.
ready to fabricate.
Right.
I can't say the same for ours. I got some guy that knew CAD, and he's never built anything before, and we're slowly teaching him over the years
Right.
how to do this. So he'll send shop drawings out that are non-constructible, and we have to go back and
Yeah.
get him through. And there's that whole learning curve. But with Lex,
Yeah.
you're getting a talented fabricator that understands all the complexities of field installation.
Wow.
And where the important pieces are and where to add tolerance. I guess I'm doing a sales pitch for Lex right now, but
No.
he's a sharp guy.
But talent, I mean, just to go back to the earlier thing, talent is worth keeping around.
Right.
Yeah. And it's worth sharing.
Like,
I don't have the keys to the castle. Anybody
Right.
can come and compete. Those are the rules.
Yeah.
Anything you want to do with your business
Yeah.
that you're not quite there yet?
I'd really like to get into more installation artwork.
Okay.
So I think, my creative side is really where I get inspired and get joy and have a lot of fun. And from the outside looking in, here's how I see installation art. It is low volume, high margin. You get paid a lot of money to do one big ass thing. And then I believe you have these long timelines. I mean, it's art. How can they be too demanding? I feel like I could, I could
they're more understanding.
sweat on a rag and put it on a pedestal and sell it for $1 million at the right auction. So
Right.
that's the outside looking in. I haven't really done much installation art. We've done some things for our small town Springfield, and we have we're going to build a 10-foot tall, 20-foot long wave as the entrance to a skate park.
Oh, wow.
That's being built.
That's cool.
So that'll be our first kind of big installation art piece.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that leads to other things, and we
Nice,
can get in with some of these cities and municipalities. But I don't even know who the customer is.
Yeah.
Is it architects?
Yeah.
Is it designers that design art that they can't make it? They can
Right.
just draw it. Who are these people I have to get in touch with?
I've seen that too a lot, like in yards, or business owners where they've invested maybe in a piece like that before. But again, how do you, other than driving around looking for it, how do you find that?
Yeah, so I don't know. My plan right now is to make a couple things. So I'm donating that wave to the city, and we're doing some other stuff for that skate park. That's been a project of mine and a lot of other people in our town for the last couple years. And I'm just going to do that just to put it out there.
Yeah.
And then I think we're building a new shop right now. So I want to build a treehouse break room out of metal for our front yard of the building. So the guys can go out and take a smoke break or whatever in this metal treehouse with kind of a spiral staircase around the trunk. Maybe we put hammocks or nets in between the branches. Like really do something wild that gets, it's interactive, gets people talking, gets people to wonder. Because art's really about how you feel, right? It's about what's the emotive response when you see this thing. Do you want to run away from it? Do you want to tell somebody how ugly it is? Or in my mind, I want people to climb all over it. So that's the skate park entrance is going to be skateable. This treehouse is going to be, you can occupy the space. You can climb on it. I love interactive stuff. I tried to get the city, they did a mural, and they wanted to have a seat on the wall that you could sit inside the mural to take your picture. And they wouldn't let me do it, but I wanted to put a seat on the wall with a flip down. The bottom would flip down to a seat, and then it would flip back up to give sidewalk access.
Right.
And the city thought that would be a pinching hazard, which it probably would be.
A pinching hazard?
Yeah. So with playgrounds, there's all kinds of regulations with
It's
pinching zone. I don't know what they call it. It's pinching hazards.
Yeah. No, it's an OSHA thing too.
Kids can't get pinched.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, they're not made of glass. They need to get pinched.
That wasn't what it was like 30 years ago when you're like
Right.
sliding down those big
Yeah,
metal
the steel
slides and burning
slides.
your ass all the way
Yeah.
down.
The carousel of doom.
Yeah.
You spin
I'm
around
sure
and
that's
bodies start
at
flying
noon.
off
It's
of
not
it.
hot.
Where are
on
those
that
days?
every day.
I hated that thing.
You might.
I hated burning my legs when that super hot metal
You just weren't going
slide.
fast enough.
Yeah.
I had chubby legs, man. I couldn't get up. It was too much friction for this big boy.
Yeah.
He's a kid who got stuck in those new
Yeah,
slides
man.
that they're plastic.
Oh my gosh.
My
Then you just got to
childhood.
pile up the kids behind you to shove you out.
Right.
The gumball man.
Yeah.
So you said a skate park. Do you skate?
No. I'm a terrible skater. I had dreams of being a skater. Like I grew up, with the X Games and Tony Hawk hitting the 1080 and the 900 and all that stuff. And I practiced skateboarding for years and terrible at it. So I longboard. I have a motorized skateboard that I ride all over downtown just to commute in our small town. So, but it's not really for me. It's for the kids. It's trying to put something down. Everybody in my town complains there's nothing to do for the kids. Kids have nothing to do, which is not true. Yeah. But there is a need for more, I guess, city-supported type of free activities for kids. So we're going to do the skate park, and then the plan with the Parks and Rec director, who's really awesome. He's like a real-life Ron Swanson.
Yeah.
He has a BB gun in his desk. And if you come in there and give him too high of a bid, or you start talking about spending too much money, he'll pull the BB gun on you while you're talking. I kid you not. This guy is real deal. Terry Martin, he's a legend.
Does he like scotch too?
I'm sure he loves scotch. Yeah, I mean, he's awesome. And he really has a passion for the city and his job of Parks and Rec director. And he's always looking for projects, and he actually does them. He doesn't talk about it. He's always doing. So as long as you can mow around it without his guys getting off their mower, that's one of his big pet peeves. He's down to build it if you can get the support from the community and get some funds together. And he applies for the grants and stuff to help us out.
Oh, wow.
So he's ready to do a pump track next after the skate park. And I'm sure in the middle of the pump track, he's gonna have a plan for another something. And he just finished 9 holes of disc golf.
Yeah.
And he's adding another 9 holes of disc golf.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And we're gonna host a disc golf tournament in Springfield,
I was
Tennessee.
about to say,
And
Yeah.
Springfield, Tennessee on
I'm
the
telling
map.
you, this guy's real deal.
It's on the map.
He is awesome. So
Yeah.
we love being in with him and part of his crazy ideas.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of I know politics is a hot topic, but I'm like a Jeffersonian, where Jefferson said, don't really get involved in federal politics. You can't affect it anyways, and
Yeah.
it's not really going to affect you that much. So don't worry about it. Get
Right.
involved locally.
Yeah.
So, we're really interested in our local community. We like to help out the schools, the baseball teams, the homeless shelter, the, women's rescue. We love to do stuff where it impacts us and the
Right.
people around us.
Well, that's
and there's a much more direct relationship and feedback loop between the two parties, where you can actually fill a need and then see that it helped. Or maybe
Right.
it wasn't the right thing to do, but you can course correct.
Yeah.
And it's really manageable for small people like me and you to get involved locally. And it's not about elections. It's about your energy that you put in to your local community. That's what's going to change, things around you. And, I feel like it's my duty to create good jobs as part of that.
Right, right.
Yeah.
It's really community driven. I'm trying to make respectful occupations for people that can have pride in their work and look forward to coming in the morning. And, we've all had those jobs where you have a stomach ache just driving in, and it's not the coffee. It's
Right.
just, it's
Yeah.
a bad vibe.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to create a space where people can really self-actualize and, come up with their own goals and get, I guess have something reliable enough where they can start thinking about what they want to do.
That's awesome.
And it leads to a lot of turnover.
Yeah.
So we have people that work for us and they kind of come out of their fog and they realize, like, this was great, but this isn't what I want to do forever. I want to go do this thing, and I have to be okay with just, give them a high five and
Gotta learn to let go.
letting them sail,
Yeah.
How many people do you employ in your shop?
We stay 20
Yeah.
full time, and then at Christmas time we're going to hire 4 to 6 more,
Gotcha.
probably next week. That's just seasonal. So we flex up to about 25,
Gotcha.
and then back down to 18, 20 pretty steady throughout the year right
And
now.
you said you're expanding your shop.
Yes.
Are you looking to hire more folks then?
Yeah, the goal of this shop is built to accommodate 50 employees with bathrooms and parking and everything.
Wow.
So I really do have expansion plans in the future, but what's limiting us right now is power. Like, I'm out of space, but you can always do more with space by going vertical or just getting smarter. What I really can't do without is more power. So the city has given me 2 more electrical panels at that property. The 3rd one they gave me is on a temporary permit. It has to leave when I leave. They're like,
Okay.
this building is not rated. You cannot have this much power in this space.
Wow.
It's zoned correctly, though, for my work, but I'm just out of power. So I have 2 shipping containers full of equipment right now that I can't plug in.
Really?
That I'm just ready to unleash.
When's the new place going to be ready?
Probably 6 to 9 months. We
Okay.
just got the pad prepped. We're doing our
wow,
underground.
okay.
Like concrete should be within the next 4 weeks or so, and steel drops first week of December.
That's
Nice.
awesome. So, one question, we're going to wrap it up. What type of advice would you give to other fabricators who are maybe thinking in the back of their mind they want to do it on their own, maybe?
I mean, tool-wise, a plasma table and a finger brake, you can pay all your bills.
No kidding.
I mean, it's that simple. Teach yourself a sheet metal in Fusion 360 or SolidWorks, and get yourself a plasma table and a finger brake. And I mean, that's like, if you want to buy new, you're like 20 grand in, and you got yourself a business that's going to feed your family.
Wow.
So that's where I would tell people to start. That's where I see a lot of opportunity.
Yeah.
Or like the mobile repair thing. You know,
Yeah.
if you get a welding skid and you're willing to do heavy equipment repair, like Isaac at IC Weld, and get in with maybe a local quarry or heavy equipment operator and be their on-demand guy, I see that as another good opportunity.
Wow.
As far as, business, you have the trade skills to build the stuff.
Yeah.
You don't have the trade skills to build a business yet.
Right.
You have to educate yourself. You have to study.
Right.
The last 2 years of ironworking, I was listening to personal finance podcasts and reading business books in my hard hat. I had, my phone stuffed in my hard hat, and I always had audiobooks on. So working 712s for 2 years, educating myself the whole time and listening to them to and from work. So about 14 hours a day, I was reading 7 days a week for 2 years to learn how to start a business, how to price stuff, how to mark stuff up, how to get insured. Do I want to be a C Corp, S Corp, LLC, Sole P? Like all that stuff you don't know yet.
Right.
So before you make the jump, study business. It's another trade.
Yeah.
It's the same as metalwork or millwork or plumbing. It's a trade. Yeah. You got to learn the business trade. And there's people that are so good at business, they never have to learn how to weld.
Yeah.
Like I got a buddy that's an engineer. He ended up buying a cobot.
Yeah.
He's never welded in his life. Still can't weld, the guy. And he has a welding business because he understands business.
Yeah.
Same thing. You could make doctor money if you knew how to run a doctor's office.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a doctor, guys. Hire the doctors.
Right.
They'll come work for you.
Right.
So business is another trade. And I think a lot of guys skip that when they try and go out on their own. They're like, I know how to build all this. I'm the top hand at my shop. I make stuff faster than everybody. Yes, you are. But the owner of that place can make a spreadsheet faster than you. He can look at a P&L better than you. He knows how to talk taxes and strategize 2-3 years ahead of time.
Right.
Where you're worried about finishing this job this week.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
So
awesome.
there's my advice.
That's awesome.
I got one
Go
question.
ahead, Garrett.
So do I.
At FABTECH, are you looking for anything in particular?
I'm disciplined. I can't buy anything. I got to finish my building.
Yeah.
I guess you got like a container full of equipment that you can't even unpack yet.
Like really what I need is a press brake. So we're subbing out a lot of press brake work right now. So I need a 10 to 12 foot, 150 to 100, 190 ton
Pretty big.
press brake.
Yeah.
So we can stop subbing this stuff out. That's like my big signal. I need to buy a piece of equipment. If I'm sending a bunch of work to another shop,
Right.
I'm like, that's how powder coat happened for us. We sent so much powder coat out. I'm like, man, I need to buy an oven. I need to teach myself to powder coat.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with press brake is the next thing I need.
Great. So where can they find you on the interwebs?
Oh, maker.table is the Instagram, but right now, if this goes out quick, please buy a Christmas gift from us, makertable.com. Free shipping nationwide.
There you go.
There's my plug. Highly personalized, customized metal signs. Great gifts for people that have everything. They work anywhere in the home. We have over 500 designs at this point.
Cool.
So
Customize if they want it.
yeah, we have a bunch of personalized options where we have the layout already. You send us the text you want, and we will cut anything, guys. We love the ridiculous.
What
If
was
it's-
that rare metal that you talked about before?
I think it's Chinesium. No, Muntz metal. No, yeah.
I think it was in. Yeah.
Adamantium.
But I mean, any
Vibranium?
any verbiage you want to put in there.
Really?
We love
Okay.
the terrible,
I saw
naughty,
the one on the-
offensive signs. We all hold them up in the shop. We laugh about them. We take selfies with them. We're very proud of those.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for joining us today,
Yeah,
Adam.
yeah.
Appreciate your time.
Definitely. Thank you very
Love
much
the
for
passion.
having me.
Yeah.
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 It's the coffee.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us. Be sure and go and subscribe to our podcast. Rate and review
And review.
as well. And until we see each other again, bye-bye.